Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dribble Me Softly podcast, the podcast that you didn't know that you need to know. If you know, maybe you know, who knows? How are you both?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very, very good. Thanks.
Here he is. It's
There.
the Malaysian scout.
Yes, that's right. Sitting here podcasting from Langkawi, Malaysia today. Nothing going to stop Dribble Me Softly, am I right?
Fuck, I'm jealous.
You are correct.
That's
The
right.
only thing that could stop us are technical issues. That's why episode 5 never made it to light.
We apologize. And we all people that hit us up and were questioned where the podcast was for last week. Shows that you really care. And we appreciate that, don't we?
It's become part of their weekly routine.
Yeah. Love to hear it. Love to see.
It's very true. It's a good
Yeah.
point. And on that note, maybe more good things to come in this week's episode.
Stay tuned to find out.
Do you know what we are missing, which we haven't had in a couple of podcasts, is we haven't had a Struan jingle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, true.
it's because it's now you just want me to be clipped up and posted all over the fucking internet. That's why.
It was that I want to be drunk when I wake up. That really
was
did
great,
it. That was so good.
To be fair, you had a good point about Alanga. That was good. That was good clickbait.
That was a great clip up, actually. It got
Really
like
was.
600 views on Reels, like on Insta, or like 600.
Did it really?
Or something? Yeah, it didn't have too much like likes and shit,
Man,
too many
that's
likes, but it reached
still
more
so
people
good.
than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to see if we get any new followers out of it. I haven't been tracking
Yes.
the followers.
I think it's still
That's actually-
sitting just under 90 or so.
Yeah, it's actually a good point. Like, it's nice to see the support and that it's getting out there to people, which is really surprising considering this is just a fun little project to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're all contemplating quitting our jobs and talking about shit forever.
Yeah, well, I keep saying to Harley, I'll buy anything she wants when the podcast monetizes. So
Support me.
Talking of monetize or money and money causing problems, I know it's the International Week, so not much has gone on, but there was one big story. I'm not sure if you
yep.
are both aware.
Definitely so.
Do either of you want to tell the listeners what happened?
I will, because it pains me, even as a Liverpool fan. So basically what happened was earlier in the week, Everton were deducted 10 points from their current total for breaching, I'm not sure how many FFP laws it was. Might have been just one. Is that right? Was it just the one?
It's just one.
Yeah. And for the listeners, FFP stands for Financial Fair Play, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And why have they been deducted 10 points? Any idea? What was the actual reason?
It
What
was
have they
the
done?
Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, but into detail, Ben might know a little bit more than I.
I think it's just like the your losses over X amount of time. I think it's a 5-year period. Probably need to double check, but it just looks like it was like the perfect storm of problems for them. So like COVID, their stadium, there's all money going out. Then the Ukraine-Russia stuff as well. So sponsorship money got pulled. So they lost that because of Usmanov. Thank God he wasn't the Arsenal shareholder for long. But it kind
Imagine
of
he was.
Oh, I know, right?
What a mess Arsenal would have been. Fuck.
Maybe in that alternative universe, the Ukraine war wouldn't have happened, and Arsenal would win the Premier League. I don't know.
Calm down, buddy.
So these breaches were relating to the 2021-22 season. So they weren't too recent. Like, it was recent, but it was a little while ago.
It just makes you think, though, doesn't it? If that's that long ago, and you've got Man City's 1 million charges, or the 100 and was it 114, 120?
Yeah, I think it was 114, Ben. Yeah,
and
Something
that
crazy.
breaches the same. Well, that charges for the same rule. Also, dodgy accounting and breaking UEFA's financial fair play rule, and that's what does that mean?
Well, it comes back down to how is it fair, right? You talk about Everton, a team that have been for the last few seasons proper struggling, and go into the last day of the season trying to get a win or a draw to avoid relegation. And then you have a team like Man City who's been sitting at the top of the Premier League for the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, however long it's been. And they won the fucking treble last year as well, right? Yet it's only Everton that get docked 10 points for breaching one single FFP law or rule. I can't understand how it makes sense, guys. I can't, right? And like it sucks because we know, like as a Liverpool fan, like I know that my team haven't breached any FFP laws. We've been fighting City year in year out at the top of the Premier League and only come away with one Premier League because of it, right? Because their team is so damn good, so damn strong, but because they've broken 114 FFP laws, like how does it make sense?
There's sort of, I mean, it makes sense. But not what you just said, but it makes sense because, but they've been punished for their transparency. Like, whereas like City, they haven't come out and said anything, right? Everton's supposedly being transparent with the Premier League, and that's what all this shit's come out from. And Ben, you were talking earlier about the, because I think they're gonna appeal it, and they've cited like several factors for the reason, and there's heaps, and a lot of them make sense, especially the whole Russia Ukraine thing.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's just kind of it's really harsh when you think about it.
It's
Something like
super
that.
harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's
they
ridiculous.
supposedly had scrapped a deal to change the name of the stadium naming rights, which is worth like 200 mil or something like that, because it was like a Russian company or something like that.
Goodison Park's a shit name, anyways. It's a shit stadium as well.
It might not. Neither might exist for much longer. Like if things go down the pan.
Honestly,
And
far out.
maybe a bit drastic, but if you look at the league tables for the last like 5 years, yeah, you're right. Like Liverpool are owed a couple. You're gonna hate this, but Man U are owed one as well. They finished second in the 2021 season.
Ole Gunnar
Um,
Solskjaer.
could you imagine? What does that mean?
Wow. Wow.
It's a bit of a tangent, but a bit crazy how south his career's gone since as well.
What is he even
Bad.
doing now?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you. I don't think he's
Might be the
managing
next
though, is he?
manager of. Is what? Sorry.
I don't think he's
Is he?
managing. I might be wrong.
No, he's not. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Maybe.
How long was he their manager for? Was it 3 years or so?
He was their manager from 2018 to 2021.
Yeah, right. There you go. Well, in that time, he took him to a second place. Not bad, Ole.
It's not the
I
worst.
quote Jose, taking United to the second was what the best thing he's done in his career or
His
something like
biggest
that.
achievement or something,
Yeah,
yeah.
his
And a
biggest
Europa
achievement,
League
right?
final.
Yep. True, which they won, right?
They did.
Yeah, it's
With
true.
Ibra.
Yeah, which they won. Ibra. Yeah.
Well, this takes me. Oh, I guess tangent aside, maybe we can touch on United afterwards because there was a stat that you showed in the group chat the other day about Ten Hag. But just to finish off on Everton, so they're 4 points now, second from bottom. Do you think they're going to be fine?
I said earlier that they wouldn't, but they pulled together some results over the past few weeks, to be honest. So I'll back them in.
They're
Like the other teams around them are fucking terrible. So they've got every chance to stay up.
well, they're only 2 points off, right? Safety
Yeah,
or it's not bad actually when you think about it, right? And we spoke. I think we had a debate me softly section debate on this a few weeks ago back on the pod, didn't we?
we did.
Where we spoke about will they be safe or not if they were to be deducted. Well, here we are, a few weeks later, 10 points deducted, 2 points off relegations, off safety, and heck yeah, I'm backing them to stay up. Heck yeah,
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. Because they did now. They fucking deserve to stay up because they've been absolutely dicked by the FFP here.
I'm
It's
pretty
actually
sure I
worth
said they'd
asking.
go down, but since then they've lost like one game of their last five. Won three, drawn one. So that's pretty fucking solid.
It's not
Flashball.
bad. Dashball's here to
Yeah.
stay.
Well, who has got more wins, Everton or Chelsea?
The fact that you asked made me think it's Everton, but if that's true,
But
that's fucking crazy.
no, no, but they both have 4 wins.
Oh, true.
That's cooked, Ben. Far out.
Where? So yeah, Chelsea in 10th. They have the same amount as Brentford and Wolves and Crystal Palace, who are 11th, 12th, and 13th. Then you've got Nottingham Forest, who are in 14th, only on 3 wins. So sort of play for.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got United this week, so 3 points against United, and they shoot back up into safety, don't they?
Yeah, and they
Albeit
got
Luton
a
don't
home
win.
game, so you'd hope that they fucking just get some mad
Oh,
support
you
there.
think Goodison Park would be absolutely rocking,
Yeah,
wouldn't you? Yeah. Like they've
I'm
got a
ready.
lot to play for now. Do Everton Football Club a lot to play for, and also considering the fact that they've not once ever been relegated from the Premier Division of the country, right? That says a lot about the club.
agreed.
So
Gee, looking
yeah,
at the
Everton are going to
fixtures this
stay.
week, there are like some absolute bangers.
Oh, it's a good week of
Absolute
Prem, isn't
bangers,
it?
dude. Villa, Spurs, Villa is good. Newcastle, Chelsea is good. City, Liverpool, of course. Fulham, Wolves will be decent.
Oh,
Brentford,
mate,
Arsenal. Fucking hell,
yeah.
mate.
Spurs Villa, like there's so many games there this week that you're just thinking, geez, licking your lips, hey, far out,
Yeah, there'll
bring
be
it
some
on.
Well,
good games.
Newcastle at home to Chelsea? Do you reckon that could be a bloodbath? Or do you know what Chelsea? What do you know what version of Chelsea we're gonna get? It's the same as probably
Yeah,
Newcastle,
that's the
really.
thing, right? Same with Newcastle because they were blaming all their injuries before. So who knows
Do you
if
think? Do you think the international break came at the worst possible time for Chelsea?
maybe in
Because they
terms
had a
of momentum.
massive, massive week in terms of momentum the week before the international break. You know, getting that draw with Spurs. Sorry, getting that win with Spurs and again, then getting the draw with City, scoring
I
4 goals in each game as well.
wonder if it could go the other way though. I don't think lots of their players went on international duty, did they? Because if they didn't, that could be great for them because they could kind of really iron out the
Mm.
creases.
Cole
I don't
Palmer
know.
got an England call up, but don't know how much he played.
He did get some minutes.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing him run on the field. Good on him though. I feel like he's absolutely deserved his England senior call up.
Oh
He's
yeah.
been
It's been
he's
great.
been cracker for Chelsea since he signed with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of people that haven't been great or don't appear to be great though, if we want to touch on United and whatever is going on, Strew, what was the stat?
Which one was
What
it?
was the
Remember it?
stats, Drew?
I
It was
forgot
something
what
like
the
the
stat
form.
was.
I think it's the most informed team in the last 5 games.
I think
Something like that.
12 of their last possible 15 points they've got.
Yeah, that's right, because they had been playing some fucking bottom of the table teams, but you know they're picking up points still. It doesn't really matter. They're the games you have to win, right?
It's kind of the thing, isn't it? So they're plodding along. No idea
They've had
anything can
no
happen.
draws, 7
Ooh,
wins,
United.
5
Yeah.
losses. Yeah, so random. It's just one or the other, right?
They just do or die.
So random.
Don't know what you're going to get for them. So, what would you fancy? Would you fancy them to beat Everton away?
You know what? I don't think so. I think Everton have a lot to play for in this game, which we've just touched on, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes these crazy things can like bring a team together, and the atmosphere at the stadium should be a insane turnout, as probably it usually is, but it'll be tough for United. I think Everton will do pretty well, and I think they'll probably either take 1 or 3 points away from the game.
It's going to be interesting.
Last
Uh,
last few fixtures, United won 2-0, United won 2-1, and then Everton won 1-0. So
Yeah,
it's
Jeez.
same. They've all been low scoring games.
they both have the
I don't
same
know.
goal difference. They're both -3. That's fucking terrible for United. Sitting six with a -3 goal difference.
Excuse me, Stu. At what point do we stop saying that's terrible for United and start saying, yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds about right for United? Because come on, man, right? Fuck the
true.
prestige and fuck the history. Like they're shit now. Let's just fucking roll with it.
I don't know if I could.
Here he is.
I can't get used to it yet. I can't get used to it yet.
I'm here for it. Long may it continue.
I'm with you.
But no, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I reckon a draw is a really good shout for that game.
draw's a great result for Everton anyway, considering you think
Yeah,
about the start of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
think about that. It's probably what. So maybe we'll leave some of that for segment 2 and debate me softly because we've got some big games
Yeah.
coming up there. In terms of other talking points, something that we didn't cover properly was the Ballon d'Or, and some comments coming out over the last week about. Did you see Mbappe's comment saying that he knew the night before the World Cup that Messi was going to win the World Cup and the Ballon d'Or?
I
It's a
had
great
no
mindset
idea.
to go into
No.
the next game with. Still banged in a hat trick.
No,
Do
I
you
missed
think
that one.
you missed it? Do you think?
Mm.
Do you think Messi was
I
deserved?
think it's hard to because look, let's be honest, the Ballon d'Or is a popularity contest, isn't it? So at
Yep.
the end of the day, who is it that actually vote? I'm not quite sure who votes, but I know that everyone has 6 votes, and every vote has a number assigned to it. So your first vote gets 6 points and your last vote gets 1 point. Do you think the Ballon d'Or still holds its prestige like it did back, in the early 2000s, even in the late 2000s?
It's
Or do you
just
think
become a battle of like fucking who's the best player in Spain. Honestly, when's the last time someone outside La Liga won it? I
2023
mean,
Leo
fucking
Messi
now,
into
but that doesn't.
Miami?
That's just stupid. I mean, True. He was even at PSG before that, right?
He
But
was.
like, you know
But
what I mean?
but is it achievements in the year, or is it trophies won, or is it how popular you are? Haaland and Man City won the treble. Alvarez and Man City won the treble, but Alvarez also won the World Cup. So he really completed football in 1 year. So if anyone's really deserving, and also he contributed significantly in the World Cup. So if anyone's more deserving, wouldn't it be Alvarez?
I mean, Jorginho had a case. He came out and said he should have won Ballon d'Or when they won the Euros and the Champions League and everything like that.
Oh, that fucking
So I
reminds
don't know
me.
if you can call it on like something like that. I agree with Haaland though.
Well, Jorginho is an absolute joke. Don't get me wrong; he had an absolute killer season when they did, because he won the Champions League with Chelsea, and then he went on
Yeah.
to win the Euros with Italy. But then to that point, Alvarez just won the fucking Ballon, won the World Cup and the treble. So I
So
don't really know.
Jorginho actually won the UEFA Player of the Year in 2021.
That would have been the year too, yeah, because
That
that's
was
when
the
they
year,
won the
yeah.
Champions League and the Euros.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like you look at people who have contributed over so many years, to football. People like Mo Salah, and he's not had any of these things to show. No, in all seriousness, though, right? Like
I
this
agree.
guy comes into English football and fucking rips up every single year, and what does he get? Nothing.
Going back to the Spain argument, 'cause even when Henri was at his peak, I think it was that 03. I don't know if it was. I think it was 03. I might be wrong. And Pavel Nedved won it. Like you should see the stats of those two put together. It's absolutely ridiculous. He was playing.
I think you've just answered the question, Stu. It doesn't come down to your abilities on the pitch. It doesn't even come down to how many goals you scored, right? It comes down to how popular you are in that year, which is why Messi and Ronaldo went 10 years in a row and they won the thing each year,
Yeah,
right?
and then
I'm not saying
Benzema
that
even had
they
big
weren't
year.
deserving of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, what about 2021 when, or 2020 COVID year when Lewandowski should have won it? Does it make sense that they stopped the Ballon d'Or when every league finished its season? There was a Champions League final, which Bayern did win, which he was a part of, so he should have won it.
Yeah, he got
So-
robbed. I agree.
If Messi won the Ballon d'Or, if Messi won the Champions League or Ronaldo that year, they probably would have had an awards and given it to one of them. Like that's just how
Oh,
it
no
looks
doubt.
like from the outside. It's
Point.
prestige. Yeah,
Does-
it's completely lost its prestige.
Does that mean that Jude Bellingham is going to win it next year then? Should we put money
It's a
on
saucy question, Ben.
it? I'm gonna.
It'll be interesting to see what the odds are.
I'm
It
about to
depends if
look up,
Girona
actually.
win the league or not.
Fuck.
Go Girona.
Wait, who would be Girona's best player?
Name a player who plays for Girona.
Yeah, I couldn't
Nah. It's a
tell
bit
you
tough,
one.
isn't it?
I'm gonna look at their team and see if I actually know them anyway, even if I had heard
Well-
their name. I don't think I know any of them.
While you look that up, for the listeners that don't know, Girona are this small little minnow team in Spain that are currently sat on top of La Liga, which is a pretty amazing story and something we should probably research and know more about at some point.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
so it goes down to I guess it reinforces your argument there, Dylan, that it's going to come down to a popularity contest, isn't it? Who knows anyone on that team? So who's going to vote for?
Yeah, legit. And just for your context, Ben, Girona 2022-2023 season finished 10th. And fucking hell, 2018-2019 season finished 18th. Okay. And then again, 2017-2018 season finished 10th. So the fact that we are now, 2023-2024 season, and they've played 13, they've won 11, they've drawn 1, and they've lost 1, sitting top of the league with 34, and won 5 of the last possible 5 is an absolutely outstanding feat when you talk about the league that they're playing in with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Hey, it's ridiculous.
Agreed,
It is
agreed.
absolutely ridiculous.
This could be horrible ball knowledge, but there's one player I know on the team. I feel
Go
like
on.
you guys would. I feel like you guys wouldn't even guess it. So he formerly played at Ajax, Man United, and Bayern Munich. He's a defender, pretty much.
There's a couple on the team. Has he got a
Oh.
massive receiver?
Daily Blind.
Yeah. I had
Is
no
it
idea
David
he was
Blind?
there. It is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got Eric Garcia there as well, haven't they?
It-
Is
No,
he's I think he's on loan from Barca. I think
they
he
do.
was at
You're
Man
right.
City.
Yep, it's my ball knowledge for you.
Pablo Torre.
It's pretty crazy. Do you think they're going to continue this without watching too much of the league? It's hard to say. I'm not going to lie. I'm no pro in La Liga, but to be sitting top of the league after 11 matches played, it's pretty crazy.
Yep,
I can't wrap
11
my head
wins,
around it.
1 draw, 1 loss.
Do you know what?
Yeah, it's
It's nice.
wild.
It's nice to see because you've got them on top of the Spanish league. You've got Bayer Leverkusen and the Xavi Alonso story, and then you've got what is it? Nice is top of the League One or League On.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Um,
Or they're top 2 at least.
oh no, they were. So PSG are just on top, and then
Yeah.
you've got the absolute minnows on top of the Premier League in Man City, soon to be playing in the Conference League, and working their way back up.
I have a question for you guys. So we've just talked about Girona, we've talked about Nice, all these teams that are competing, you know. It's still early in the season, but they're competing for the league. But with Man City and what they've done in England over the past 5, 6, 7 years, have they turned England into a farmers league? What do you reckon?
I feel like from an outsider's perspective, you could say yes, but I don't think so.
What do you reckon, Ben?
I kind of get the point. Like they have won it a lot. I think it's been good that there's been at least someone run them close for the majority of it. Mostly Liverpool. Then that year that Man United was second, they ran away with it by the look of it. Just on paper, I can't really remember it.
Really, when you look at it, the only team that's taken them to the last day has been Liverpool countless times. Even Arsenal last season did well, but didn't really hold them till the last day of the season, did they?
Nah, fell apart. It's a bit
Fell apart.
It's kind of
yeah.
It's got like I wouldn't say it's as bad as the German league though for that stuff, nor the Italian league when Juventus were dominating. Because like you think Juventus won it for a ridiculous amount of years in a row as well. So we're not.
And then Bayern have won it 10 years straight as well, huh? So that's actual proper farmers league.
Yeah, that's really
ridiculous.
sad to be honest.
What's worse is they just buy the best players from the other teams too.
Yeah, exactly. What's worse is that Dortmund are a breeding ground for talent, and then they just get sold off. Like if Dortmund can keep a handful of their quality players, then they'd be competing not just for the fucking league, but for the Champions League too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wasn't it that one year that I don't know if I think it was the Champions League final, and like it was either Lewandowski or Mario Götze, like they didn't play or something like that. I don't know the full story, but one of them because they had signed for Bayern like the next year or something. Like every single one of their good players leaves. Hummels left and then he came back.
Yeah.
Royce is the only one that stays. It's crazy.
Royce is genuinely the only
I
one
love
who
Marco
stayed.
Royce. I feel so bad
Talk
for him that he
about
got
loyalty.
injured. I think he got injured before the World Cup, didn't he? The one that they won.
Yeah, he did.
And he didn't get to play. That
it.
sucked.
Yeah, didn't play it.
He's
yeah, that's true.
He's a bit cursed, isn't he? And he's such a nice player to
He
watch.
is. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
There's probably one last topic which might set you off a little bit. There's been
Here we
more
go.
stuff about the PGMOL. So they've been releasing clips.
Do you mean PGLOL, Ben?
Right, I'm trying to change my ways. I want to befriend.
Nah, fuck him. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Go on, man.
How are we ever going to do a collaboration pod with the PGLOL if we continue to insult them?
Gotta get Howie on the pod.
We need to get Howie on the pod.
Exactly. We believe in everything they do. VAR and all. No, so
VAR is here to stay.
Yeah.
Go on. Otherwise, I'm going to keep interrupting you.
Yeah, I know. We're pretty fucked there, aren't we? Let's face it. But there was more stuff come out. So they started releasing some of the clips with regards to the Arsenal game. I don't know if there's been some others as well, but I was actually listening to a podcast in relation to that. So it comes down to your point. I think, Dylan, you mentioned before, for instance, other teams letting shit like this happen to other teams and not speaking up about it. But when it happens to them, they cry about it. Like Arteta, Klopp, everyone, right? Everyone, De Zerbi's comments are outrageous when you look back on it.
His comments were crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
But they made a really good point because they were like, well, the other teams need to start actually speaking up when it happens, or as a bit of a stopgap is, say if a team wins, so Newcastle getting that win against Arsenal, for instance, if they turn around and say, we won, but you need to look at the rules. like if that would start to help or encourage change to make them feel it's okay to get things right or get wrong. Sorry, I don't know if that's. I thought it was an interesting
Yeah,
topic anyway.
yeah, I agree. I think it's tough because after your team's like won a game, like in the Eddie Howe situation, I feel like a lot of managers would have done the same thing where they asked him about the incident. Obviously, the ball going out, I think, would have been the incident, not like the foul in the box.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen it, or I didn't see it, or." I'm like, mate, there was like a 5 minute VAR conversation about it. What did you not see? Like, maybe a bit of honesty around it. I don't know if they have to agree or disagree with the decision going for their team, but you can't just be you can't blatantly just glaze over it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There is inherent bias with managers, isn't there, towards their team, which is fair enough. They're employed by the club, right? But I think when you have situations like that in a game, that's probably the moment where you turn around and you say, "No, the wrong decision was probably made, and we've got to do something to rectify it." And it comes back to that point about this is when, at the end of the day, managers, even though they're rivals, they're all managers. They're they are all held together by block, and you'd think in some ways they've got to stick together and they've got to back each other,
Yeah,
but that doesn't seem to be happening. Yeah, and it's a bit annoying. And I always circle back to that Arteta nonsense with Jurgen Klopp and the Spurs and Liverpool game, and how he said, they make mistakes, and then had the biggest cry when during that Newcastle game.
yeah.
It's like, yes, mistakes were made during that Newcastle game, but you can't fucking turn around and say mistakes happen when it's not your team that's in the firing line. That's not okay. That's not okay. And I lost all respect for Arteta that day. I really did.
I think you can't really, yeah, you can't speak from like they're very emotive conversations because you're asking someone his opinion just after he's lost like a massive game, massive title race, such a competitive industry. But I think the real question is, what would Ange do?
He'd be like, mate, shit happens.
Never question the referees.
Play a high line with 9 men. That's what Ange would do. Play a high line with 5 men is what he said he would do.
Yeah, he did actually.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon there is
Fuck.
like there are some managers within the league that actually like speak with one another, get on with each other? Because there used to be a thing
Well,
way back
Pep and
when.
Arteta definitely.
Pep and Klopp definitely as well. Natural mutual respect between those two, as I'm sure there is between Klopp and Mikel and Pep because of their history.
Yep.
Um, but it would have been interesting, right? What happened if that happened during Man City versus Arsenal? Would what happens then, and where did their relationship sit? Obviously, when they're in opposing boxes, it's very different. And in the heat of the moment, I get it. You can say and do a lot of shit. And you're right. Post match conferences are very emotive because it's just happened. You haven't had a chance
Fresh.
to take yourself out of a situation. Which is why pre-match conferences leading into the next game are super interesting because the managers had time to reflect, and
Yeah.
when they get asked, that's when you really see the true side of a manager. You know?
Yeah.
True. It, that makes
Mm.
sense. The reason why I kind of asked that is because like I don't know if you remember when Alex Ferguson used to, if like opposing managers come to Old Trafford, used to invite them. He used to invite them after the game to his office for a glass of wine. Used to be a thing.
Really?
Sorry, can you repeat that, Ben?
So Ferguson used to when teams would come to Old Trafford, I don't think they were like
Yep.
necessarily like Mourinho or Wenger, for instance, because they were very like heated rivalries. But opposing
Yeah.
managers, that he would sometimes or quite often invite them into his office after the game for a glass of wine.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, unless he's
That is really cool.
unless he's like the ultimate manipulator, where he's like he knows
Yeah.
he's got their number, invites them in, he's like, right now I'll give you my opinion and we'll let my agenda go off into
It's a
this.
bit of a power. It's a bit
Yeah,
of a power move, isn't it?
yeah. Maybe it's how he got the
I,
referees
I
in.
Step
know that
into my
Fergie. I know
office.
that Fergie had a dungeon where all the referees lived in, and he'd bring them out one game at a time, and that's why we had Fergie for time every fucking week. And everything went their fucking way for the fucking 20+ years that he was their manager. And then after the game, they'd go back into his little fucking dungeon and sit there till the next week comes around, aka Howard fucking Webb.
I was about to ask
Yeah.
before you went full sweary bear. Then, um,
Sorry.
if Howard Webb was actually a lab creation by Alex Ferguson.
Yes.
So,
Yes, he
Short
was.
answer, yes.
Nah, I can't necessarily prove it, but you look back and Howard Webb openly he is a Man United fan,
Did he actually?
right? Yes, openly said it. And I'm not sure if this is entirely true, but I did read something about sometimes like decisions swayed in United's favor because of that fact. So it's hard to respect that. It's really hard to respect that. And now this is the same bloke who sits head of the PGLOL,
Yeah.
right?
I've just Googled it. I forgot about this. I raised it. For some reason, I thought it was Mike Dean, but wasn't Mike Dean like a bit of a Man U and Tottenham fan? I can't remember. There's an image of
Oh
him.
yeah, he
Mike Dean
loves
was just
Spurs.
Was it Mike?
he was a crazy fucker, wasn't he, Mike Dean? He
Man,
just,
there'd be like things in Spurs games where like you could just see that he has like reacted to a decision that's gone their way or something like that. It was weird. Someone clipped it up. It was so weird.
It's
we should try and find some clips of that
I've got it.
and pop it up.
I'll share it to
Yeah,
socials, but I found the Mike Dean celebrating the Tottenham
hectic.
goal against Aston Villa where he does the fucking little
Yeah.
skip when he scores and he does a little run off.
Yeah, that's it.
It's fucking
That's it.
nuts.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Going back to celebrating something that you shouldn't be celebrating, did you see Mateo Kovacic celebrate
Yeah.
Cole Palmer's equalizer in
But I
the
don't buy
94th minute
that.
of the game?
I don't think he saw it. So he just sort of like looked at his hand and like did something with his hand. I don't think he celebrated.
It was just one of these. It was like one of these
Yeah.
little movements where you fist pumping. But yeah, it didn't look good. When you slowed it down and you saw the freeze frame, it doesn't look good,
No.
but
Guy's playing for City,
you
man.
do.
He's not celebrating for Chelsea.
On the topic of celebrating,
Hey, he did beat him in the Champions League final.
Good shout.
what a sour note.
But go on, Ben. What, Chelsea winning the fucking Champions League?
Yeah, that's not good for anyone. Sorry to Chelsea fans if they listen
How
to the pod,
funny.
but it's taking a wind out ourselves now.
Do you think Arsenal will ever win the Champions League? Guys, what do you reckon?
Can we save this for Debate Me Softly?
Ever?
Let's. That's a great debate.
Maybe this is a good opportunity to take a break, and then we'll come back with that question and more in Debate Me Softly.
Yep.
Sounds good. Let's
Cool.
do that. Cool. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back. It's the best time of the week, best segment ever. It's Debate Me Softly. You boys ready?
Keen.
Let's do this.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's true. Are you ready?
I'm very ready.
Got electrocuted.
Let's do it then. It sounded a bit like that, Ben. All right. So the first statement, well, actually, no, it's more of a question this week. We've got a huge fixture coming up in this week's Premier League. It's Liverpool versus Man City. So my question to both of you is, the winner of this game between Liverpool and Man City will go on to win the Premier League this season.
Yeah,
What do
I
you reckon?
agree. Because City's going to win.
Wow. So when you say you agree, does that mean that you agree that it is now a 2-horse race and that Arsenal are no longer in
I was waiting for
title
you
race
to
this year?
spin it some way.
You know me, mate.
It's a big game. It's probably. Would you say it's the biggest game so far this season? Oh well, they were missing Rodri when they played us. So
Yes, that's true. They were missing Rodri when
this
they
is a
played
bit
you.
of a bigger game.
And what are you saying,
I'd
Ben?
probably say it is the biggest now. I think the
Interesting.
momentum
Okay.
is I think Liverpool has momentum. That's the thing which worries me the most as like someone that is potentially challenging or wants to challenge for the Premier League title, is that like if Liverpool beat Man City, they could use that and keep going. Like their front three are just outrageous for Liverpool. I know Darwin loves to miss a chance or two, but same with like Jesus and Rashford and a whole host of other strikers.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
The key difference there, sorry to interrupt, is Darwin is Mr. Chaotic. He'll miss the easiest chance in the world and he will absolutely put away a screamer.
Loves a worldie.
Right? And the consistency to which he puts away these screamers is insane. But also the consistency to which he misses these fucking easy chances is also a little bit insane.
I think the interesting thing
Yeah.
to just watch as a neutral is if Liverpool's defense can actually hold up, because Van Dijk's been rejuvenated this year after being Mr. Aura for a little while. He's what? He's been what? He's been
Yeah,
the least dribbled round defender in the Premier League this year.
Yeah.
correct. With 0 dribbles
Yeah,
past,
it'd
Ben.
be interesting to see if they go at Trent. That would be interesting to watch.
Oh, you know that the big one of the key matchups in this week is going to be Doku versus Trent, right? It will absolutely, because Doku's a workhorse on the left wing, isn't he? And his ability on the ball is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And we know that Trent isn't necessarily the best defender going around, right? So that would definitely be a very interesting matchup. But also, if Jurgen does give Trent the license to step into midfield, then what we've seen is Ibu kind of cover that space. So even Ibu versus Doku would be a very interesting matchup if Trent is caught out of his position, you know? So, yeah, definitely a big matchup to look out for there. I think Haaland is playing this week, Strug, you said? Is that right?
Yeah, he picked up a small injury. I think they've now just come out and said he'll probably line up on the weekend. So, big game. I doubt he'd miss it over something small. So yeah, he'll probably play.
Yeah. So let's forget about the game and let's talk more about the question that I had there for you. So the winner of this game will be the winner of the Premier League this season. Do you think there's any other teams, maybe besides Arsenal, who are actually in with a shout for the title this season? It's only been 12 or so weeks, right? So let's not forget that. But yeah, what are you guys saying?
Besides Arsenal, no. I couldn't say there's anyone outside that through the top three that could win. Like Spurs, really, no way. Villa, no way. United, no way. It's really It's three. It's down to these three teams, and there's still so far left in the season. But it would be a major surprise if anyone outside of Arsenal, Liverpool, and City was challenging for the title.
I think just going off the historical trend of Man City being able to just play catch up very well when a team's ahead of them, that experience like that may not phase them as much as it would Liverpool if they lost. Is what I'm thinking here. Is if Man City go and lose
Yeah,
to
I also
Liverpool,
agree with that.
then I think that's not a big dent to them. Like they could still go on and win the league. Whereas Liverpool, if they lost that game, I think that could be a little bit of a setback. Not huge, but I still think that
Mm.
because when it comes to the back end of the season, that's going to be in their mind when they come and play City again.
But the thing is, right, historically, over the past few, like 5 or 6 years, the only team who've really, and we've spoken about it just before, the only team who've really given City a proper run is Liverpool. Um, I know that we've got a basically an almost new look team, but the one key there is that the manager hasn't changed, and with the manager comes absolute elite mentality to go and put 10, 11, 12 wins on the trot at the back end of the season, which we've done in the past. To no avail, unfortunately, because we ended up losing the league by 1 point on both times that we took City right down to the final day. But it's not out of our reach to be able to go and do that. So I think, yes, to some extent, Ben, it will be a bit of a setback if you were to lose, but I don't think it's going to completely cost us from challenging City this year because we have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Arsenal last season and those few losses and draws that they got back to back really set them back to the point where there was no way they were going to be able to catch City thereafter.
No.
Right? And I think it was the big game. It was the game was it the Emirates that City beat you guys and that really kind of ended all hopes you had of the title at that point.
Yeah, but it was over before then, really. Like the momentum had
Yeah.
gone at that point. I think that's the thing, is what I'm kind of indicating here is
Mm.
like City's ability to be inevitable in their chase, which is they're just relentless. And
They are.
I
I
think like
absolutely agree with that.
I think like them being ahead, like they kind of stay ahead, whereas like Liverpool are always going to have that feel that pressure the same way as Arsenal did. I know like injuries and whatnot, but you just know they're coming. And I guess Liverpool got that experience though to hold them off. They have won the Premier League and the Champions League recently, so like to your point, they are equipped to deal with that. But you just never know if they're going to get nervy. I just think like it's very close between the two in terms of your question. I just think I think it's more. I think it would impact
Yeah.
Liverpool more than it would Man City. But we're saying this, and it's fucking November.
Yeah.
True. And I guess the key takeaway from this game is the fact that it is at the Etihad and they've got to come to Anfield, which is not an easy place for any team in the league to come to, let alone Man City.
There's actually a rank
So
load of games in Liverpool's favour against half decent teams from December. It's in a short period of time, so it's not fun. Listen to this for a fixture list: Liverpool at home to Man U,
go
Liverpool at
on
home
then.
to West Ham, Liverpool at home to Arsenal, all within the space of 6 days.
Ben, when is the Liverpool
24th
versus
of
Arsenal
December, so
game?
it could be a really great Christmas for one of us, or for some of us, or not. We may not. The podcast may be in the fucking bin at this point. I may not come back for the Christmas special with no podcast.
Surprise! Merry Christmas.
Surprise segment is just Dylan doing a podcast by his own. Struan, we have to boycott.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
It'll be a cracker game. Don't get me wrong, because Arsenal are a fantastic team. But yeah, coming to Anfield is no easy feat for any team in the world to do, right? Let alone Man City, like I said. So yes, this game is at the Etihad. But I don't know. As a Liverpool fan, I am a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you, because it is Man City, the juggernaut that Man City is, and the tactician that Pep is as well. But I think over the past few seasons, what gives me solace here is the fact that we've also got an absolute world-class manager with world-class players as well, with a team that has belief again. Last season, that belief had subsided in many respects. And we've brought basically a brand new midfield in. Thiago hasn't even played a single game in the Premier League yet. But that belief, that inherent belief of we have the ability to win, even with our backs against the wall, is back, and that's what I love to see again. And I think the biggest win so far to date was that Newcastle game, where Darwin scored those 2 goals and very late in the game to get the win. And that shows the belief that I'm talking about. So this is going to be one hell of a fixture.
Yeah, I'm keen to see it.
The early kickoff, though. It's the early kickoff, or the late kickoff for us. Early kickoff in UK. What a way to kick off the weekend.
What a way to kick off the weekend. Hey,
so we didn't really get to the bottom of that one then, as a debate.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't. Well, okay, so I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say the winner of this game will win the Premier League this season, whether it be Liverpool or Man City. And I think the reason being is because it's momentum, and momentum into Christmas with the fixture list that you just spoke to. And I'm sure Man City would also have a relatively difficult fixture list over Christmas because of the amount of games that are played in such a short span of time, right? Momentum's the key.
Yeah. I'll say the winner of this clash will win the league, but it will have nothing to do with this match. It will just be because it's City.
Yep. Okay, buddy. What are you saying?
I say it's not going to matter. I'm just excited to see it. I think it's too early in the season.
No, fair enough. On to the next.
What else have you got us to debate?
Yes, sir.
Well, this is a goodie. This is the one that I couldn't really wait to talk about. So, guys, my question is, will Arsenal ever win a Champions League?
Now I have editing powers. This will never make it to light.
What a question.
Okay, Struan, Arsenal fan to Arsenal fan. I'll let Dylan have this one play out. Look how satisfied he is that his head fucked us. Do you think we have more of a chance of winning the Champions League than we actually do the Premier League, given the current construct of the team and the way we play?
That's a great question, you know.
Because the reason I say that is because the way the team is set up to be more in control of games and be more of a defensive unit. So there's no denying Arsenal have gotten better as a defensive unit, but at the same time they've sacrificed
True that.
the attacking intensity that they had last year. Plus teams kind of sit off them more. So the Premier League, that's high paced, more physical. Teams, are set up to be fast and powerful. Half the table is really. Then you've got the Champions League, where it's a bit different. It's a bit more technical, a bit more tactical. In my mind, I think we could win a Champions League. I'm kind of willing to say we might win a Champions League before a Premier League, depending on how things go.
It's very interesting.
My only thing with the Champions League is that we have such a young squad. The experience is not there at all. And then, you imagine a return leg at, the Bernabeu, Anfield.
Our asses go right.
Going to Munich. there's no chance we're winning some of these games. Like
Sir Flappington.
Sir Flappington at the back there.
Fuck, you've undone everything.
I don't know. It's tough to
No,
say.
I'm walking it back. I'm sorry. I lost my head. I forgot. I didn't factor in any of that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, we don't have the reps yet. We don't have the reps. I think we've shown some good signs in the league last year, albeit downfall at the end. But like that, they're encouraging signs. We're losing to like Lens in the Champions League, man.
And world beaters.
Obviously, every now and then, big teams will lose, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Will we ever win the Champions League? I'm hoping in my lifetime. Just one.
Actually, yeah, you didn't have
Just
a time
one.
frame on it. So yeah, unanimous yes.
Yeah, because he's trying to be a bastard.
I said
about
ever,
it.
but yeah, okay. So then, okay. If the answer to ever is yes, then let's give yourselves a bit of a time frame, and let's say in the course of the next 10 years, will Arsenal win a Champions League? And the reason that I asked the question is because since the Invincibles, this is the best team that you've had, right? A team that was challenging for the Premier League last season, has a pretty good manager behind them, with a team that plays a really interesting style of football. I wouldn't say like attacking style, but the way that Mikel sets them up is very interesting.
Yep.
And I think, look, if you didn't win it with the Invincibles, then how the hell are you going to win it with this team? What do you guys reckon?
You gave Arteta some nice compliment. This is going everywhere.
I did.
No,
I still hate the man. Don't get me wrong. He's still a dog. But
you don't need to go there.
But I respect the tactician that he is.
Interesting.
And he's dedicated, man. He's
Still
very
a bitch,
passionate. He's very passionate. Like I'd fucking love him anyway. We can go on forever. I think
you love him,
to
really?
answer your question, if you were saying the next 10 years, I'd probably say it'd be closer to like the 7 years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. In the next 5 years, I don't think we would. Maybe I think 5 to 7 would be closer than 3 to 4. What about you, Ben?
Let's put it on a 5-year roadmap. Get a roadmap out. Pencil it in.
Yeah. Well, look at that. Look at the ages of some of these guys in 5 years. Saka will be like 26 or so. Martinelli would be like 26 or so. Saliba would be like 26 or so. Gabriel's probably like 25 now, maybe closer to 30. But defenders, you know what they're like with age. They usually do peak a little bit later. I don't know, man. Like the Odegaard's young. Declan Rice is young. Like who's old in this squad? Like Ray is 28, fair enough. But like who knows? Ramsdale might stick around. And he's young.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's not talk about Ramsdale making me sad now.
The thing is, though, Stu, you talk about the ages of some of these players, but some of these players have also gone and represented their country in a World Cup, which, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of the game, right? So if you talk about doing it, or if you talk about winning because of the experience, wouldn't you argue that some of these players have experience now?
Yeah.
Right? What's going to change in the next 5, 6, 7 years that you talk about?
Experience.
A lot of them already have, my friend.
I think we'd be in a better position by that stage. I don't think our depth is completely under control at the moment. Like our injuries are just, I don't know.
Will Arteta still be the manager when you win the Champions League in 5, 6, or 7 years?
Hope so. If he's doing
maybe.
Right. Okay, I'm going to close this one out before we move on to the next one because you two are fucking like beating around the bush here. I'm going to say flat out no. Arsenal do not win the Champions League in the next 5, 6, 7 years. I reckon they will eventually do it because if you have teams like Porto who have won the Champions League, then surely teams like Arsenal will eventually win a Champions League. But are they going to do it in the next 5, 6, 7 years? I'm going to say no,
fuck you. We're going to win it.
Yeah, I think most people would agree.
You can clip me up, Ben, and chuck me out. And in the next 5, 6, 7 years, when you win the Champions League, I'll put my hand up and I say I was wrong. But until then,
I'm going to send the aggregators after you, and we win it at the end of this year. Happening. What are the odds, Arsenal?
Oh, mate, there's no chance in hell Arsenal Football Club are winning the Champions League this season.
Guess what?
No chance in hell.
Question: who's got better odds of winning the Champions League this year, Arsenal or Liverpool?
Good question, mate. Neither team have any chance of winning the Champions League this season.
Arsenal are actually 8-1 to win this year's Champions League. That's the 4th best odds.
Who's got the best odds? Man City.
Man City.
City or Munich, right?
Man City,
second.
Bayern.
Man City, Bayern.
Bayern or Real.
Yep.
Madrid.
Real Madrid third.
Then
Madrid?
Arsenal. Yep. Real Madrid. Then Arsenal.
Really?
Then Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal 8-1.
Yep.
After that, can you guess the next?
PSG, probably not.
United.
Not United.
Not
United.
United.
United are fucking
Surely
way
not.
down there. The United are 40-1 odds. So Barcelona is correct.
Barcelona.
That actually is a good point because I saw that I saw this article where some of the board members at Barcelona are not happy with Xavi. It's probably just clickbait though because it's an international break.
Oh yeah, you did send that through actually.
I don't know. We spoke about this in like one of the earlier episodes, didn't we, about Xavi? Maybe we'll revisit it.
It's a good shout.
Okay. Well, anyway, F you. We're going to win the Champions League. I'm going to put some money on it now. Now we're 8-1.
Just quickly on that top four that you talked about, the top four favorites. Say they were the four teams going into the semi-final. Who would you want to play out of the three?
Bayern.
Really?
Wait.
With your history with Bayern Munich.
We can put two things to bed here. We can put
I know
Bayern
why.
Munich, Hoodoo to bed,
I know why.
and Kane's pursuit of a trophy. How fitting would that be? That would be fucking excellent.
Yeah. I saw something about.
So, just for our listeners, Ben, can you explain Bayern Munich's history with Arsenal in the Champions League? Just because our listeners may not know.
I think the listeners
what I'm
can
referring
understand
to
your tone, and I think quite a few. I think quite a few of the listeners know that when Arsenal was on their darker days when they were just hanging around in the top four. I think it was when Arsene Wenger had Aya Sanogo up top. I think we lost 10-2 on aggregate.
Yeah.
That's correct. 10-2 on aggregate. That's correct. So it's actually interesting because, like, you out of the three teams, you would really take Bayern.
From like a story.
I think it's just to stop Harry Kane from winning a trophy.
Yeah, you're trying to write a fairy tale out here, mate.
That's just the way life is sometimes, right? It just works in funny ways. So that's what I look for.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. What about you, Drew? Who would you take?
I'll probably take Barca at this stage. They'd be the weakest of those.
No, Barca aren't in that top four, mate.
Oh, were
Barca
they?
aren't in that top four.
Were they
so
fifth?
The teams were Man City, Real Madrid, and Bayern.
Oh, because we were fourth.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'll probably just fucking take City, mate. Go head to head.
Wow.
With the champs.
Wow.
No, I don't.
I like it.
I feel like it'd be.
What do they say? To be the best, you got to beat the best.
It'd be tough to go to both of those away games. I think the away game at City would be.
Oh, mate,
very
tough to go to
Etihad, but
yeah,
the other two would be crazy too.
What else? Have you got anything else for us?
Yeah, look, I've got one more question just to close up today's episode. We've spoken a lot about managers in today's podcast, so I thought we'd close it off with a statement or a question about managers. Two of the best in Premier League history, and I want you guys to try and break down who's better. So we've got Pep Guardiola and Sir Alex Ferguson. Who's the better manager?
Struan, you go.
Tough one. I'm the better manager.
Love the deflection, Ben.
Look, without any stats, I'd probably. Is saying Fergie just like a nostalgia kind of answer? I don't know. How many Champions Leagues have they each won? Fergie had won like
1, 2,
3.
2, 3.
I think Pep's won.
Fergie won 2.
Pep's won 3. I think.
Do we need more context here?
Pep's won 2.
Who did you say? Who is the better Premier League manager? Who's the better manager?
Yeah, it's a good little question there, Ben. I reckon let's just try and actually no, let's just say better manager, right? I know that Sir Alex really only did it with Man United, and Pep's gone and done it in countries or multiple leagues in Europe. But just at a very high level, break it down. Who do you reckon is better? And again, it's one of those things, and it's the reason why we call it Debate Me Softly, because there's no necessarily right or wrong answer here, right? It comes down to interpretation.
So I think I have an opinion on this, but I'd want to get one of you two to go now. Now there's that extra knowledge. Like, I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
I am also looking up some stats right now. Holy, I did not know that Fergie managed 1,500 games for United. Is that serious?
Jesus Christ.
That doesn't look real. at
The only
all.
thing which well, the reason I asked if we were looking at Premier League versus all time is the fact that I know Pep has had Messi and the golden generation at Barca, like unreal team, but he also went to Germany, changed the way Bayern Munich played. No, he didn't win a Champions League, but dominated there. Then he came to the Premier League, and he turned the Premier League from this direct game of football to them teams fucking playing around with the ball at the back. Like he changed football in the Premier League, the actual style. I know the money's at his disposal though, which is I guess the thing
Agreed.
which kind of contradicts it. Didn't so what Barcelona had the talent, Bayern not as much money, but they still have enough money kind of thing and power there. And the Premier League, then their net spend is not outrageous compared to like some when you think of who they've sold, but they do have an untold amount of money.
Yeah, inflating their
Yeah, the
sponsorships.
Etihad's worth loads.
So I'll give you guys a bit of a breakdown. These are just Premier League related stats, okay? But it might help sway your decision in who you think is the better manager. So Sir Alex Ferguson in the Premier League managed 810 games. Pep's managed 264. Okay. In the 810 games that Sir Alex managed, he won a total of 1,752 points, where Pep's won 624. Now, more importantly, the points per game. Sir Alex, 2.16. Pep, 2.36. Okay. Obviously, Sir Alex had 13 titles, and Pep now has won 5 Premier League titles. The win percentage is the thing that stands out the most so far, though. Pep, 75%, and Sir Alex, 65%.
Yep.
But the thing that really stands out goes back to how many games Sir Alex managed in the Premier League in his managerial career, 810. So you talk about longevity and getting such a high points per game and a high win percentage over 810 games is truly astonishing.
Yeah.
Truly astonishing.
I think longevity is such a key piece here because you can look at the win percentage and be easily swayed. Because I had a look just based on all competitions, United and City in both of their tenures, and Pep's got set a 72.45 or 72% win percentage. Fergie's 59. That's crazy, but at the same time, 1,500 games managed for United versus 432 for City is like it's less than 1/3 of what Fergie managed. So if you can do it for that period of time, that's something in itself. Like that's insane. I'm torn though on an answer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the longevity piece, the fact that like Man U weren't in a good spot when he took over. It wasn't like they were flush with cash. But then that consistency led to them having all of that revenue, and they could buy players. Looking here, like the most expensive person he bought was Rio Ferdinand for 46 million euros. It's a lot of money way back then.
Yeah, wow.
Veron,
Yeah, that would have been heaps.
Yeah, in that
well, they
market,
bought
absolutely,
Dimitar
yeah.
Berbatov from Spurs for 38 million euros. Rooney, 37 million.
Yeah, wow.
So they paid 31.5 million euros for Anderson. I guess he did all right.
It would be interesting to see what the equivalent transfers for other Premier League teams were in and around that time, just to get an understanding of how much United were spending compared to the other teams.
That's true.
Back then, everyone wanted to go play at United because of so.
Yeah.
The dynamic has shifted quite substantially over the past 10 years since he's now left the football club.
Do you know what? Like this maybe just goes
yeah.
to help reinforce Pep's argument here, but the 5 biggest purchases made Barcelona under Valverde, for instance. Osman Dembele, 135 million euros. Philip Coutinho, 135 million. Griezmann, 120 million. De Jong, 86 million. And then Malcolm at 41 million. Like he spent
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
Well,
wow.
the thing, Pep knows how to pick a player. He also knows how to develop when I say develop, but like ensure a player is playing well consistently. Like, look, what about those like fucking Griezmann? How he was shocking at Barca. Malcolm, I don't even think is he even there anymore.
No.
Like half of these players, like Frankie's different. Like De Jong's a bit different, but
Coutinho
Coutinho like,
went and won the
what?
Champions League smashed them in the semi-finals and then 1-2 in the Champions League, right?
Yeah,
With
Holy
Bayern
shit.
Munich. After what they spent 140 million on him from getting him from Liverpool. It's
Well,
insane.
Pep
It's
is
absolutely
also
insane.
spent the most in his career. So between Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Man City, he spent 2.04 billion euros on players at those three clubs. Most expensive was Grealish at 117.5 million euros.
So I think it begs the question in many respects. Would Pep be as good as he has been if he didn't have the resources and the backing behind to be able to go and put money into big players like he has, you know? Food for
Who would you
thought.
I
say?
think another important question would be if other managers had the same players, would they be doing as well as Pep has for City as well? Right? Because that goes both ways. Like you can buy all the best players in the world, or you
Oh
can
yeah,
spend
you're
that much
absolutely
money. Yeah, there's both. There's two sides to that, and you could never compare them because it's never going to happen. But yeah,
you're absolutely not wrong there. I think at the end of the day, they did verse each other in the Champions League final, didn't they? 2009, it might have been.
oh, good
City,
shout.
sorry, United and
That's a hell of a shout.
Barcelona.
I think you're correct. I think, and that's when Man, you got absolutely battered. Pretty sure I remember a Messi header, which you wouldn't
Yeah.
expect.
They also played each other 2 years later in another Champions League final, which I believe, again, Barcelona won.
Yeah,
2-0 United in 09. Oh, 2-0, sorry, Barca. And then 3-1 Barca in 2010-11.
maybe it's a 3-1 Barca because the last one Man U won was against Chelsea, wasn't it?
That was that
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
Messi
exactly.
header. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Glance and
I can
header.
see it in my head right now. Yeah. We should definitely get the clip
Yeah.
and chuck it up because it was a screamer. Insane. And just the way that his body kind of pivoted around the ball to get a, was fucking
It had it
amazing.
all. Maybe he's worthy of 8 Ballon d'Ors. He's just a little bit good at football.
Hard to argue against it.
How
Just
about
the
a quick
goat.
fire
Just the
question
goat.
to end?
Yep.
Go on. Wait, before you do, we need to close up on this one. What are we saying? Who is better, Pep or Guardiola?
Pep or Guardiola?
Sorry,
Pep
Pep
or
or Guardiola.
Guardiola.
There you go.
Pep or Sir Alex?
I'll say Pep.
You?
I'm gonna say Pep too. I think Pep transcends the game. I think Sir Alex was, don't get me wrong, one hell of a manager, but the way that Pep has revolutionized the game with the way that he manages his players, his in-game tactics, his moving a fucking center half into midfield, like Sir Alex would never have done that.
Yeah.
You know.
Constant evolution, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm gonna say Pep.
I'm with you both.
What are you saying, Ben?
Like money aside, if you can come in and change the way people play football in different leagues and
Yeah.
stuff, and constantly keep people on their toes, it's what a
Yeah, shout. And you're right. He did it in multiple leagues. It wasn't just the one.
All right.
That's why I'm saying Pep. All right.
quick one.
Quick fire question to close up. What is it? Let's
Messi
do
or
it.
Ronaldo?
I knew this was coming.
No,
We
haven't, have we?
you just got to go with your gut though.
I don't know.
It's a nice way to end because you can go forever, but I think I'd say Messi.
Oh,
That's so hard.
I think we broke.
Don't know. I really don't know.
I'd
I'm
say Messi.
gonna say Messi too.
Yeah.
Fuck, why can't we be
I'm gonna say Messi.
controversial?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unanimous.
What,
really,
are you
isn't it?
also
What a
saying
fairy
Messi?
tale ending with the World Cup as well. I wanted it to be Ronaldo.
I think the World Cup goes
Yeah.
up. I mean, he got the Euro, but yeah, World Cup just hits different, eh?
Yeah,
World Cup. That's the pinnacle of the
comes down
sport.
to the same
Yeah.
previous
Yeah.
argument just had, right? Pep versus Ferguson. Messi is unique, can play.
Yep.
Can do things other people can't. Ronaldo is just a testament to hard work and looking after yourself and consistency.
But Ronaldo did it in multiple leagues. Messi only
There you
really
go.
truly did it in one league.
That's true.
Albeit, what an amazing fucking time. But he only really did it at Barcelona, didn't he? Because at PSG, yeah, he scored some goals, but he didn't really have the influence, and he was brought in to win them a Champions League, which he did
True.
not do.
Ronaldo left Man United damaged his legacy, like influenced the debate.
No, because of Eric Ten Hag, he's an absolute dickhead. You have an actual goat, and you put him on the bench. You don't play him, and when you do play him, he's scoring you winners. Like, make it make sense. I can't understand. I can't understand it. I'm sorry, I just can't understand it. And look, it might be different, in the changing room because we all know Ronaldo's relatively arrogant, but he's so fucking good that he can be arrogant, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this is, again, from an outsider looking in, Messi just seems a little bit more humble in his mannerisms and his approach, you know? But yeah, Ronaldo did it across multiple leagues. He won the Champions League only at Madrid. Am
What?
I
No,
right in saying
Ronaldo
that,
won it
though?
at Man U.
He won at United, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He won
Yeah.
it. He won it at United.
Yeah, he did win it at
Yeah, and
United,
then
didn't he?
went
Yeah,
to
yeah. Yeah, oh 08, wasn't it?
yeah.
Oh 08. Did John Terry slip? Was it that?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pen. Yeah.
That's right. He did win it there. Well, there you go. Messi only won it at Barcelona. So who had more influence? I think I've changed my decision. I'm going to say
You're
Ronaldo.
gonna say Ronaldo?
Nice.
Yeah, just
I
to
like
spice
it.
things up a little bit. I think so.
Want to have a case?
I think so.
It's the beauty of it.
Fair call.
And that's the thing. Goat one, goat
You're a
two,
very
pick
rich
your
man if
poison,
you've got
isn't
two
it?
goats
Yeah.
in some parts of the world.
It's a bit like that. But yeah, I like that little quick fire question. Stu, I think what we should do is just chuck those both up on our Insta and just get our listeners to weigh in on what they reckon.
Yeah, I like that.
Be interesting to see what comes out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That was nice. I liked it.
Nice way to
I
end.
enjoyed
Sounds
it.
good.
Left with a nice tagline halfway through that last little question when you said make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, shall we wrap up?
Do we want to leave?
Cool. Thank you. This was really fun. Yeah, we kind of have to. Yeah, it was heaps fun. But in all seriousness, this is the first time that we actually tried to do a remote recording, isn't it? So
It is.
hopefully it's
Let's hope it
all
exports properly.
downloads correctly and we're able to get the episode out, because obviously we missed last week's episode. So
Yep.
yeah, let's hope it works out well.
Cool. Thanks,
But
guys.
next week I'll see you boys back in Sydney and we get to do this
Yeah.
in person. Look forward to it.
Do it all again next
Enjoy
week.
your holiday, and if you have made
Let's
it this far into
go.
the pod, please share, like, subscribe, follow, all the nice things.
Comment. Yes. And also please feel free to drop us content ideas, because we love to hear from you guys and we want to know what you guys want to listen to and what you want to hear. So yeah, the more feedback that comes in, the better the Dribble Me Softly podcast will get.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Have
Let's
a-
leave it there.
Enjoy your day. See you next week. Enjoy your holiday.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
See you, boys.
Bye.
Will do. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Catch you next week. See you later. Bye.